Welcome to Dual Diagnosis Anonymous. My name is Johnny, and I am dual diagnosed, and I'll be facilitating this meeting. Can we please take a moment of silence, followed by the serenity prayer? God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I want to welcome everyone to DDA. I want to say hi to all of my DDA members. I pray that everyone's out there being safe and practicing good self-care. If you notice at the beginning of these meetings or these videos, you notice that I always say the serenity prayer. No matter what 12-step meeting or support group you go to, they're going to always start out with the serenity prayer. Because what we've learned is there are some things that we can change, and then there are some things that we can't change. The problem is a lot of people don't know the difference. Before entering into recovery, I didn't know anything about the serenity prayer, but I was always stressing out because I was always trying to do things on my own. I was going to church and everything, but I was still trying to do things on my own without God's help. So as I went into the program, I started practicing learning how to say the serenity prayer, and here 14 years later, I still practice that in every aspect of my life. So I wanted to share this video with not only with my DDA members to help them to understand why we do that, why we say it before every meeting, but also so that other people can look at this video and understand why we say it too, because it can be applied to anybody's life. It's a serenity about it. It's just something about it, because when I start getting stressed out, I instantly stop what I'm doing and I start thinking, is this something that I can control, or is this something that I can't control? And I have to pay close attention to that, because I battle with that sometimes, just like a lot of people. And if you don't know the difference, you'll wind up fighting the wrong battle. That's why they said pick your battles carefully. So where did the serenity prayer come from? Who wrote it? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. And I'm also give you some things that you can do so that you can understand some things that you can do, 7 things that you can do to apply serenity to your life. So we're going to break this all the way down so that everybody can understand what every word of the serenity prayer really means. What is the serenity prayer? The serenity prayer is a prayer written by American theologian Reinhold Niebuhr back in 1892 through 1791. The prayer spread rapidly, often without attribution to Niebuhr, through church groups in the 1930s and 1940s, and was adopted and popularized by Alcoholics Anonymous and other 12-step programs. And you notice that's what I said in the beginning. Every 12-step program always share the serenity prayer. Not many people have heard of the serenity prayer before they first attend a support group meeting. But once in your life, it never leaves. I know I was out this morning and I cut a few yards, and then my trailer kept breaking down on me, and I was trying to get these jobs done, and my mower was giving me a few problems, and I found myself getting hungry. I was hungry, and I found myself getting frustrated. And in the midst of my chaos, I stopped and I made sure that I said the serenity prayer. And when I did, this serenity came over me, where I can focus on what was important and what was not important, what I can control and what I couldn't control. And I actually knew the difference. And that's why the serenity prayer is so important, because no matter what's going on, you can say it. And you don't even have to say it out loud. That's what's cool about it. So why did Reinhold write the serenity prayer? God gives us the grace to accept with serenity the things that cannot be changed. Niebuhr prayed with his small summer congregation in Ocean Way from the catalysm of the World War II. Courage to change the things that should be changed, and the wisdom to distinguish one from another. Saying the prayer activates willingness and positivity. Thinking positively instead of stinking thinking helps people find success in sobriety and avoid relapse. God. When saying this word, I am admitting to the existence of a power that is greater than myself. Grant. Saying the second word, I am admitting that this higher power is available to give to me and to others. Serenity. I am asking for calmness, composure, and inner peace in my life. This will enable me to let go of my ego and think straight. To accept. To accept, I am allowing myself to acknowledge conditions as they are right now. I am living in the now and the present moment while letting go of the control of fear. The things, whatever is making my life unmanageable, cannot change. I can't prevent these events or conditions from happening to me or others. I have no control over these specific people, places, and things. Courage. A quality that enables me to deal with the problems and realities of life without reliance on alcohol or drugs or self-destructive behavior. A determination to stand my ground and to get through all issues. A strength of my spirit to face and handle the negative. To step through fear while practicing faith, humility, and honesty. To change. In facing my life directly and honestly, I have an active part in changing. I am taking action now. The things I can. I am asking for help to make the right decisions. I am asking for guidance. I must do the footwork. And wisdom. I am asking for the ability to rise above my ego. I release judgment about my life and myself. I then use my ability to ask for guidance from myself, others, and God. I learn through my experiences and others' experiences to know the difference. I want to be able to understand and clarify truths of fact. I want to see things differently in my life, gaining awareness. I need to identify where to take action and or where to let go of my false sense of control. If you would like to experience a more peaceful life, try these 7 tips. Number 1, create a calming morning ritual. Getting up early is very important. Number 2, notice how you respond to stress. Number 3, create healthier responses to stress. Number 4, it is not personal. Number 5, feel gratitude. Number 6, only do one thing at a time. Number 7, minimize the noise in your life. Also, something to think about is the word amen. This means so be it. Every time you say amen at the end of your prayers, you are saying so be it. So mean what you say, because you are literally asking God to let things be done that you have prayed for. I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live. The serenity prayer comes down to how we exercise our free will and in what ways we allow our higher power to work in our lives. When we can find a balance, we will be amazed at how much easier our lives become. But at the times when we are feeling unsure, we repeat the serenity prayer to remind us that we are not alone and that all we need to do is look to our higher power, be honest with ourselves, and act accordingly. The serenity prayer is a powerful prayer, and there is much wisdom to be learned from it. Again, like I said at the beginning of this video, most people that I encounter have the same problem. They're always trying to change the things that they can't. Some people you can't raise grown people because they already grown. Some people like to get in relationships with younger people to try to raise them to be what they want them to be. That don't work. Most of the time, we can't even change our own kids. Whatever path they choose is the path they choose, and we can't change that. We just have to accept it. Remember the wisdom to know the difference. One of my biggest problems that I used to have was I wanted everybody to experience this freedom that I have, that I didn't have before when I was in my addiction. When I got into recovery and God delivered me, this peace that surpasses all understanding came over me. You hear people quote that, but they be miserable as heck. Because you can't be peaceful and controlling at the same time. It don't work like that. Peace is when you just sit back and you let God take the wheel. You hear people say that too, Jesus take the wheel, but he can't take it if you're in the driver's seat. And the reason why people like being in control is because of fear. The reason why people don't like to change is because of fear. They don't want to lose control. But the serenity prayer, it helps you to have that peace that surpasses all understanding. I was working at a job one time, and I used to go out in the field and I would be helping people that was still struggling with addiction and mental health. And I would have to literally go to their homes, and I would take them to support groups. I would take them to meetings. I would take them to counseling, therapy, whatever it is they needed to do. I would take them, and and if I liked them, I would even give them bus passes. And I would tell them, hey, look, I'll take you today, but the only thing you got to do is I'm gonna give you this bus pass. Just go to the meeting on Monday, and they wouldn't do it. And when they tell me, I would literally get upset. And I go back to the office and I'll tell my boss about it, and he would say, Johnny, well, why are you so upset? And I'm like, well, I did this for him, and I took him here, and I did this, and I did that. And he said, you don't see why you upset? And I was like, no. He said, you're trying to work their program, and you're not allowing them to work their program for themselves. So you're trying to control them. You're trying to do everything for them. So that's why you're upset. And at that moment, that's when I realized the power of the serenity prayer. Because after that, I started giving people information, and I quit trying to make them be what I wanted them to be. I had to learn that with my own boys. I couldn't make them what I wanted them to be. They told me that I was overly protective. And when they told me that, I listened to them. And so I stepped back so that they can spread their wings and they can grow up to be whatever they wanted to be. I couldn't change them to be what I wanted them to be, but I could know the difference and to understand that I can't change them, but they can change themselves. I can't change them, but I can change me. So what is the serenity prayer? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. See, before I do my groups, when I say the serenity prayer, I always use the we version because I'm doing it in a group setting. You can use the I version, but I like the we version because it makes me feel a part of a group. So I thank you all for watching this video. I pray that you start learning how to apply the serenity prayer to your life. You can Google it. You don't have, it's a long version and then there's a short version. In the 12-step programs, we chose to use the shorter version because of the attention span. We like to get straight to the point. Because as addicts, we are always trying to change things that we can't and wondering why we always stressed out. When you try to change the things that you can't change, it does affect your mental health. And like I always say, we all got issues. But at the same time, we don't have to feed our issues. Going with the flow is always easier than going against it. Because when you go against it, you struggle. And 9 times out of 10, you don't make it. But if you go with the flow, you'll always wind up somewhere that you've never been. So as I get ready to close, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I pray that everybody's staying safe. And I'm going to continue to pray for each and every one of you. And I pray that you continue to pray for me. And hopefully we can get back to our meetings every Friday. Like I said, I will still send out videos, but I'm really looking forward to getting back into the rooms to see people's faces. So as I close, I'll close out in our usual way with Just for Today. Just for today, I will focus on my DDA recovery program of the 12 steps plus 5. Just for today, I will remain clean and sober, and if I am taking medication, I will do so as prescribed. Just for today, I will keep an open mind and be willing to listen to the advice of my DDA support group, my prescriber, and my clinician. Just for today, I will allow myself to have faith in someone in the DDA program who has faith in me and my recovery. Just for today, I will have a program. I recognize that I may make mistakes along the way, but I will follow the DDA program to the best of my ability. Just for today, I will utilize the program of shared experiences, strength, solidarity, and hope in order to gain a better perspective on my life. Just for today, I will not dwell on the past nor place undue concern on the future. Just for today, I will not grant fear or worry space in my thoughts by choosing to live one day at a time. And by following the DDA principles, I need not be afraid. Just for today, I will say how working an honest program is helping others and allow the blessings of my higher power to flow throughout my life. Just for today, I will allow myself to be me. I will accept myself for whom I am and where I am. I will allow others the same courtesy, that they may be free to grow and that I may be freed from the burden of resentment. Just for today, I will live and let live. If I become unable to do this, then I will place trust in my higher power and remind myself to just let go and let God. Just for today, I will live life on life's terms. And by doing so, I will recognize when I need support for symptoms of my dual diagnosis or when I'm in danger of relapse. I will seek help from the fellowship of DDA, my higher power, my prescriber, and my clinician. Just for today. And once again, I look forward to seeing you all next week. And as we close, can we please close out with the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I look forward to seeing you all next week. God bless you. Stay safe.